Hello and welcome to today's video. As you can see, we finally moved on from Herttoniemi all the way to Itäkeskus, which is another big hub for buses, especially running to the east from Itäkeskus. But today we're not creating buses. What has been missing from this map all along has been metro line number 1, running from Vuosaari or Nuce all the way to the western part of Espoo. The reason why I haven't created this line previously is that, like I said, I want to grow this map of or the network of lines and traffic organically, which means I always want to build on the existing map. And so far, when creating the bus lines, metro line number 2 has been enough. But now we're first moving a bit eastwards with the bus lines, and we need the final eastern wing of the or eastern sort of end of the metro. We will also need the western end of the metro when starting to create the Espoo lines pretty much soon afterwards. So now is the right moment to create metro line number 1. While I'm creating it, metro line number 1 is also on an exceptional route. I've been talking about these exceptional routes for quite some time. Because at the moment there are very, very big track works going on in the tram traffic, in the street traffic, everywhere, and also in the metro traffic. And this metro bridge over here, the Vuosaari Metro Silta, is currently under an extensive renovations. So the metro will stop at the moment in real life in Puotila, but I am not living the real life. I am going to create this line exactly as it is in its normal state, meaning that we'll go further eastwards. That means that we will start by creating a metro station in Puotila, or Botbygård in Swedish. And then, after creating all the stops to the, let's say, we'll have to start from here actually. After creating all the stops to these from here, I will then move west. But this is where we will go underground. There is something located over there. I don't know what that is. I don't care what it is, but we will just be underground. And that's it. The first stretch of track, the first stretch of blueprint has been created here. And this end of the metro is pretty easy. It's just 3 more stops. What really matters and what will happen is what happens at the other end of this line. But we will be there pretty shortly, so just give it a rest. And after Puotila, the track will emerge to the ground level at some point. Now we'll just have to have a few interesting stops here, but let me just have a look at the maps just to get the names right. So the following stop is at Rastila, Rastböle, and it will be above the ground, which is another interesting feature of the Eastern Metro, which is that it runs quite a lot on the above the ground level. And once this is done, I will then run the metro above the ground until here, and then we'll get to the part where the bridge is, and then we'll just build the bridge. And after that, we will continue above the ground until going underground. So there, and then we will just push it underground all the way through the station, which you want to build a turn like that. I don't want to build a turn like that. I want to build a slow speed turn. I really don't know why I'm actually creating these tracks on high speed. I rather want to believe that the metro travels at high speed underground, but it's actually a very slow track. Because at several stations, the speed limit is set at 60 kilometers an hour, which, well, is much more realistic than this creation of mine, but I will still, nevertheless, create all the tracks in high speed. After Rastila, the terminus of the metro will be somewhere around here. Now I have to be guessing because, as I said, the track doesn't really exist at the moment, or the stations don't really exist at the moment. The true position of the metro station, I think, will be around here. And we will be above the ground. And we'll put the track over here. And this is Vuosaari, Nordsjö. And this is about it. The eastern part of the metro has been created apart from the turn or the loop. There really isn't a loop. The track actually continues all the way to, well, somewhere. I think there is a depot somewhere over there or something like that, but we don't need depots. My trains are running all the way 24 hours a day like they would do in Soviet Union, where there are no breakups and all technology is perfect. So we'll just build a loop in there because the game doesn't require any maintenance at the moment, and I hope it never will. So the final loop in this end. Let's just put it this way down. All right. So the eastern end of the metro has now been created. That is it. And we can move all the way to the other direction, or the other end of the metro line, to Tapiola. Back in the days when the Western Metro was created, Tapiola was never the terminus. It was running all the way until Matinkylä, I think, and from Matinkylä it was extended all the way to Kivenlahti. But I will now first create the final end of the Western Metro Part 1, and then I will create the entirety of Western Metro Part 2. So after this video, Western Metro will be complete, and the whole metro network of Helsinki will be complete. Now we'll just have to move on to the other side of the town, and I will not be needing 2 maps to complete this. I will need only 1. So the following stop is called Urheilupuisto, Idrottsparken. Hopefully, I think I just was there today, but somehow my memory is unfortunately bad. Yes, that's called Idrottsparken. And the Idrottsparken metro station will be underground, and it will be located just by a roundabout somewhere in here, and I hope that, oh yes, it's over here. This is where the Urheilupuisto metro station is located. I hope 100 meters of platform will be enough. I think it will be, but, well, you never know. And as you can see, the metro operation compared to buses will be hugely expensive to create. I mean, this will be a mega project in terms of Finland. It's entirely underground, and the funny thing is, a friend of mine has actually been building a part of this. They've been working at the construction site. And we are down to Urheilupuisto. And the following stop will be at Niittykumpu, which is Ängskylla in Finland. I mean, come on, in Swedish. And the Niittykumpu metro station is located below this crossing, and it's over here. I will give it 120 meters just to make sure. That's it. So that's Niittykumpu, Ängskylla. That's right. And like I said, I'm just checking on the names because I know them, but I don't want to make any stupid mistakes. So it will take me some extra time just to check the names of the stations. I hope you'll be patient. That's just to make sure I get all the stops right. I should know them by heart, but still I want to check. That's perhaps a part of my nature. And as you can see, we're heading pretty much west, but we're going to head all the way here to Kivenlahti, so there are still several stops to be created. After Niittykumpu, we will stop at Matinkylä, probably called Matby, if I remember correctly. Sorry about that. And that's, oh no, that's not what I was looking for. Yes, Matinkylä Matby. And it's located under a shopping center over here. We don't need that much track though. So let's put it in here. These are not the exact spot, these are about the spot. And this is where the sorry, I'm sorry. This is where the western terminus of the line originally was. It has since been built further westwards, and we will go there now and stop caring about reality when when it really was built. This is just once again an attempt to make things easier for a lazy track builder like me. So we have the Niittykumpu metro station, Matinkylä metro station over there. And the following metro station will probably be Finno. That's right. Finno or Finno. It was originally named Suomenoja until they decided that, well, that's just better to name it with the original name. Finno or Finno is located somewhere under here, I think. And as you can see, I've already spent 50 millions on the track, which doesn't represent reality. I mean, in reality, this track would have cost around 500 million so far, probably, with all the bridges and all the tunnels and all the stuff. Oops. That's actually the first oops you've heard of me in a long time. I am starting to, well, not lose my grip, but get my grip on putting the signals into right positions. Nice, obviously. After Finno, if I remember correctly, it was Kaitans, but I can't be certain because I have never ever traveled this stretch of track. But yes, that's Kaitans. And the station is located, let me have another double check. It's located, whether it's in there. So that's where the station is underground. And that's it. And then just once again try to connect it with the previous station as quickly as possible, not perhaps appreciating all the nuances of how the track has been built underground in the rock and the rocky soil of Espoo. And the funny thing is there is no rock in here. I mean, when you build train tracks in this area, they have to make huge things with concrete to make the railroad track safe and operational. And after Kaita, which seems a bit off as the, yeah, that's correct. No, the place is correct. After Kaita, we stop at Soukka, called Söke in Swedish, and that will be by a roundabout in here, so I guess the right place would be here. 75 millions wasted already on this track, and when we put in the metro trains, we will get to around 300 millions, I think. Good luck for me, because you can at one time you can take 3 loans out, and you can take up to several billions of loans, but that would not serve what I am doing. So I'm going to take risk and take out just 1 more billion and then try to run a profitable operation until I need to build new railroad tracks. Don't ask me why I want to do it this way. Perhaps I want to keep a hunch of realism in this game, but as you can see, we've now come very, very far from the former terminus of the Western Metro, which was over here. And then we... Oh, come on. Stop doing this. Then we will stop at Espoonlahti, Espoo-Viken. Was it called Espoo-Viken, actually? I will have to check that too. So it was Kaita-Kaitans and Soukka-Söke. Right. Right. So Espoonlahti, Espoo-Viken will come next. And that would be... Okay, that doesn't help me. Well, it is Espoonlahti, Espoo-Viken. Let's just... There are no bus stops actually at the... Oh yes, there are. Fine. So it's Espoonlahti, Espoo-Viken, and it's located under yet another large shopping center called Lippulaiva. But the station is called Espoonlahti, Espoo-Viken. And how do we build the connection between Soukka and Espoonlahti? We'll just have to take turns somewhere under Espoo like this. As it is underground, it doesn't matter a shit where the track is. So on we just go and we push it. And there we go. I think if I remember correctly, the next stop will be the terminus called Kivenlahti. And that is absolutely right. And then I will once again have to check if it's actually Kivenlahti Sten. It's Stensviken. It is Stensviken. All right. But it also does not include any. No, it's Stensvik. And the metro station in Stensvik or Kivenlahti is located between 2 roundabouts over here. Yes. That's where the terminus of the line is. And I can show you. This is where Espoo ends. And come on. Okay, let's not just do this yet. Let's just first fix this thing. This is where Espoo ends, and this is where Kirkkonummi begins. And while Espoo is a very urban place, mostly, not entirely, it has its own rural areas in the north, which you will get to know later. Kirkkonummi really is a rural place. And that's where we will also head sooner than you think. But first we will concentrate on the metro. And as you can see, this is the longer one of the 2 metro lines. So buying the trains will be a pain in the ass. Or a pain in the wallet, if you may excuse my use of words. But here, anyways, the line ends. It makes a nice little loop over here, which it, of course, really doesn't do. But the line has been created. Bingo. Let's build the tracks. 100 millions. Boom. And then let's start creating the line. And like I said, it's metro line number 1. Originally, metro line number 1 is a pretty strange thing, because it's the first line now that I've created which runs beyond the scope of the city centers traffic zones. And it means that traveling this line all the way until the end is actually more expensive than traveling the line just to Tapiola. But what I've done with the ticketing to avoid having to do hard work, come on again, I've used the figure of 3.5 euros, which is the amount that the ticket would have cost a couple of years ago if there would be a one ticket zone, or one, how would you put it? If there would be only one ticket zone in the system. So what's happening here in reality is that I don't use ticket zones in local traffic the way they should be used. This game, at least the last time I played it, didn't fit into that system. As you can see, this line is extremely long. I've so far created a 73-kilometer long metro line, and you can only imagine how long it will take to operate it. Which means I'm gonna have to buy a fuck ton of trains to get to the 5-minute interval used on this track. And if you count right, what the hell? Oh, yeah, here it is. If you count this thing right, you will need, or you will have, a 2.5-minute interval in the Helsinki metro. And that's quite nice, actually. Or in the central parts of the metro. In these ends, it's 5 minutes at the busiest times. Now, 73 kilometers of metro is pretty big. I mean, it's 35. Sorry about that. 35 kilometers to one direction. And in a city the size of Helsinki, that is a lot. But the system. The metro system is almost ready now. After adding just a few stops and buying that fuck ton of trains, I will have finished the underground transport system in this city, and that's a major thing to do, at least for me. But that doesn't end the mega project here, because pretty soon it will be evident that it's not enough to create just a metro and some local tracks. The bus network stretches that far out that I will have to build a lot of train tracks too. And we're not too far from the following train tracks. We are going to create some buses next. And why I'm actually saying we, I mean I'm going to create, but I see you as my, how would you say, companions. Let's put it that way. So after these metro tracks, there will be loads and loads of bus lines, but eventually, and not too far out, we will have to enlarge the rail network. So the line is ready, and now let's see how many trains. And finally, I can speak openly about trains. How many trains I'm gonna need to push this thing to a 5 minutes interval? Let's clone this. And once again, I'm using train M100 because that's the original metro train in Helsinki. And I want to imagine that I'm living in the 80s. That was a wonderful decade. So all the visual appearance, if you Google Helsinki local traffic in the 80s, just Google the vehicles, and that's what I want you to see. That's what I'm seeing. But the lines are from current day. And now you can see the line takes 2 hours to operate. So I'm just going to keep on buying these metro trains. I have to buy a lot of them. And by that, I mean a lot of them. We're down to 40 minutes pretty surely, but that does not really help. We're down to 30 minutes. Still a lot of shopping to do here in the train shop. Of course, there is a train shop. I mean, when you want to buy trains to your local line, you just go to the shop and you just buy them. They're ready. No need to custom manufacture them. No need for that. So we're up to 24. Yeah, still a lot to do. Let's go up to 25. Let's not even look where we are at the moment. Oops. 26. 30 minutes. I will need to more than double the amount from this. 12 minutes. 28. If I have 200 millions left when this operation is over, I will be glad. 29. Bought. Now we're down to 10 minutes, so we will need to double. We will still need to double the amount of trains purchased. 31. 32. 30. Oops. 33. Oh, no. You're number 32. Thank you. And then we're up to 33. Number 34. 2 more minutes to cut from the timetable, and those are going to be a hard 2 minutes. I mean, really, I will have to work, or I will have to buy. The trains will have to work hard to cover it up. 6:40. Number 36. 6:18. Edging closer. 6 minutes. 5:42. 5:27. Oops. 5:13. If I could squeeze it with one more, would that be this easy? It was exactly 5 minutes. And with that, the metro network of Helsinki is complete. So, we can move on to new conquests, if you allow me to use that word, or new areas of the town. And oh, this was a longer video for a change. Nice. So, the metro network of Helsinki is complete, and now I will move back to buses for a while, and pretty shortly after that, we will need more trains. Not metro trains, real trains. But let's see what will happen tomorrow. It's a new week, it's a new video. Until then, bye.